NBA playoff action with the Detroit Pistons is next on TV 50. Brought to you in part by Southwest Airlines, serving convenient Detroit City Airport, minutes from downtown in the northern suburbs.
The Rolling Stones concert, scheduled to air tonight, will air tomorrow night at 8 p.m. right here on WK.
Pistons basketball is brought to you by Dunham. Our big names bring you in. Our low prices bring you back, guaranteed. By Busch Beer, the beer that goes down smooth as a mountain. By Plymouth, makers of the full line of Plymouth cars and minivans. By Health Alliance Plan, your health deserves the best. By Michigan Bell and Ameritech Company, solutions that work. By the Kelly Springfield Tire Company, Kelly Tires, a good deal on a great tire. By Pizza Hut, the official pizza of the Detroit Pistons. By GE Automotive. If you're a car maker or supplier, put their minds to work. By Taco Bell, Detroit's choice for great food and great value. And by Amico Ultimate, your car knows.
The Pistons marched into Chicago Stadium to seize control. Detroit seemed on its way in Game 3, but Air Jordan awakened with 31 second-half points to give Chicago its first win. On Monday, the Bulls evened the series behind more heroics from their Superman. This matchup has been reduced to a best-of-3 series, with Detroit holding a Palace advantage. A trip to the finals for the Bulls might be one road victory away. And the Pistons must hold service on their home court, or the Daly double could be in trouble. Live from the Palace, it's Game 5, the Bulls and the Pistons. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the excitement of the NBA playoffs. And welcome to Game 5 of the tied-up Eastern Conference Finals. This is certainly the most important game the Pistons have had to play this season. This is George Blaha with Coach John McLeod and the MVP of the NBA, Earvin Magic Johnson. A fella I bet John would agree with me on. If I was going to start a professional basketball team and I could pick anybody who ever played this game, I'd take the young man from Lansing.
Well, George, I can attest to the value of Magic Johnson, having to go head-to-head with him all these years. He's dealt nothing but misery to me and the Phoenix Suns, I can tell you that.
Earvin, welcome back to Michigan. I know that tasting mom's cooking this time of the year isn't what you normally do, however.
Definitely not, but I'm happy to be back to see them, my whole family, and also see a great game like tonight, because the intensity level is going to be so high, and everybody, tonight is the biggest game, because now when you get that magical number 3, you're almost in control of the series.
No question. Actually, you've been in a position like Michael Jordan has been in, where you have become the focus. How much pressure is there involved in being in the position that a Michael Jordan is in now?
Well, it's a lot of pressure, but I think what Michael has to do is try to start off a little slow tonight. Make sure he gets the other guys involved, because he knows he can get his game off at any time. But if they're going to be able to beat the Pistons and to beat them here, he's going to have some help from Pippen and Grant. I think Grant's going to have to be a key, because he played a big part in game number 4, and he had to do that today if they're going to beat them here.
That's a good point.
What's your buddy Isiah and this Piston crew have to do to win?
I think Isiah has to get himself involved early, like he did in the 4th quarter. Him and Joe going to have to start off early, and also I think establish Edwards inside. Once they establish Edwards inside, that makes that perimeter game better. I think they didn't do a good job of that in the 2 games in Chicago like they did here in game 1 and 2.
How difficult is it for a competitor like you to be watching and not playing?
Very difficult, because right now my palms are sweating, and you know, this atmosphere is what I live for, and here I am talking about it instead of out there on the hardwood.
Tell you, we're going to miss you, and so's the rest of America in the finals. I got a feeling he'll be back next season. We'll be back with the starting lineups and all the action in Game 5 of the Eastern Finals in just a moment on the World Champion Pistons Playoff Basketball Network. Our producer director is Harry Hutt. Our associate director is Mike Andro. Our statisticians, Joe Abramson, Eddie Rivera, and Barry Smade. And we're all fired up, including John McLeod and me, for Game 5 of the Eastern Finals tonight from the sold-out Palace of Auburn Hills. I cannot imagine a tougher ticket in this town than this one tonight. This game very well could decide this series.
Well, George, you know, you start with 27 teams back in November. You're now down to 4. The 4 best teams in the world. It's 2-2 deadlock. The Pistons are at home. They've lost 2 in a row to the Bulls. It's a great situation, but I feel, George, that the experience and the depth of the Pistons will win this series for them.
They're going to have to look to that because Michael Jordan plays for the other guy. Let's set the starters now with public address announcer Ken Calvert.
We'd like you to welcome some of the world's greatest athletes. First, our guests, the Chicago Bulls. Starting at one of the forwards, number 33, from Central Arkansas, Scottie Pippen. At the other forward, number 54, from Clemson, Horace Grant. At center, number 24, from San Francisco, Bill Cartwright. At guard, number 23, from North Carolina, Michael Jordan. At the other guard, number 5, from Notre Dame, John Paxson. Head coach is Phil Jackson. His assistants, Johnny Bach, Jim Clemens, Tex Winter, and the trainer is Mark Feil. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing our world champion, Detroit Pistons! Starting at one of the forwards, carrying number 10, from Southeast Oklahoma State, here's Dennis Rodman! At the other forward, number 53, from Washington, at center, number 20 from Notre Dame, Bill Laimbeer. At one of the guards, number 4 from McKee State, Joe Dumars. And at the other guard, number 11 from Indiana, your captain, Isiah Thomas. The head coach is Chuck Daly. His assistants, the Brandons, Sir and Malone. The trainer, Mike Antonauer.
Ball boy John Pavitt with that Bad Boys banner here. That was Jack McCloskey's secret weapon last year in the finals. Pistons may need that tonight. They'll also need to do a little better job anyway in shutting down Michael Jordan. Joe D and Isiah and Vinny and Dennis Rodman have all had a shot at him. But he's still averaging 36 and 7 rebounds. Michael, of course, has upped that field goal shooting in the last 2 games by shooting over 50% in Chicago. And in the last 2 over in the Windy City, he averaged nearly 45. Pistons held him to just 77 in game 1. Won game 2, 102-93, but then the Bulls got to 100 in games 3 and 4, winning by 5 after trailing by 14 and winning by 7 after leading by 19. statistics, very even so far in the series in many areas, especially that field goal shooting. Both squads just under 44% at the line, right about 77%. The Pistons with the edge in rebounds. The Bulls passing it a little bit better. And the Pistons are going to have to pass the ball tonight out of those half-court traps, John McLeod.
George, there's no doubt about it. If you dribble the ball or hold the ball against a team that traps, the obvious advantage goes to the trapping team. And what the traps do, George, is they stymie your offense if you don't move the ball. However, if you move the ball, you know, you can't double team a pass. You can double team a dribbler, you can double team a player. And if you pass the ball sharply and make sure you're in attacking mode of basketball, you'll be okay.
In this series, Jimmy Edwards and Bill Laimbeer, and to some extent, John Sally, have been slumping. And the Pistons add up all three. And what they scored against the Pacers and Knicks are losing better than 16 a game in this one by comparison. A great officiating crew tonight to handle Michael Jordan and the Bulls against the Pistons. Jack Madden, Ed Rush, and Hugh Evans. And Chicago wins the tap. Paxson working outside against Isiah. Looks like his ankle's all right. He had 17 in game 4 and 7 assists. Michael Jordan with a clock at 10, which is sideline to Pippen against Rodman. Dennis Rodman, a big story. How far can he go with a bad ankle? They go to Grant, and Grant sticks at baseline. And the Bulls lead 2-zip. Here's a little backcourt pressure. Dumars cautiously works against Jordan across the timeline. Bill Laimbeer holds it topside. Working against Pippen, waiting to make that right pass. Wide of the lane to Edwards. Jimmy will come dotted line. Dish it to Lamb on the wing. He guns it, popped out. That thing was down. Lamb would have loved to have dropped that. Cartwright to Jordan to Pippen. In the paint, it's Grant from the dotted line. It's wide and ripped off by Isiah. Nice bounce ahead to Edwards. He'll drive and flip it up and in. Nice looking finger roll.
That's Edwards has been in a mini slump, but nothing like a layup and a free throw to snap you out of it.
Pippen with a bad looking high glasser that misses, but he pulls it off and hands it to Grant. Way outside now to Paxson. The shot clock is at 16. Jordan catches on the wing. Mid post to Cartwright. Mr. Bill from the baseline misses to Laimbeer. Pistons looking to take the lead. 10.5 left in the first. Isiah penetrates. Doubled on the baseline and in the corner. Bounces it wide to Rodman. Over Cartwright. Yes! Off the high glass. Pistons 4, Chicago 2. This game couldn't be much bigger. As it was game 7. Jordan takes it topside and drills it. We're tied at 4.
George, he poses two different problems. When he has the ball and when he doesn't have the ball coming off a pick. It really ties up the defense.
We've played 2 and we're tied at 4. And Dumars, who has been at 20 or more in 3 of the 4, gives it to Isiah. Deep to Laimbeer. He'll fake it. Power it up. No. Edwards taps it up. Yes. James with 4 of the 6. Pistons lead him 6-4. Pippen on the wing. Topside to Grant. The clock's at 13 as Jordan catches. Mid post to Cartwright. Wheeling, hooking. He drew a triple team and a foul. It's on Worm. The first on Dennis Rodman. Dennis came over to help out Laimbeer and Edwards and picked up the foul.
That's right. Well, you see the focus, George, has been to get the ball into Cartwright. The Bulls showed great patience. They couldn't get it in on the right side. They swung the ball back to Jordan. He punched it into Cartwright on the left-hand side. Bill Cartwright is an excellent offensive low-post player.
Very comparable in style in many ways to James Edwards.
He is, and it's good, George, to see James come out and get 2 easy hoops. And Bill Laimbeer had 2 good cracks in the basket. He didn't make either one, but his jump shot looked good, and he was battling for the board on the other one.
Cartwright split the pair. Jimmy Edwards with a rebound. Now Isiah working against Paxson all the way inside, dishing deep to Laimbeer, and he got the bunny to drop. 8-5. Bulls with it in Jordan's hands on the wing against Dumars. May have heard Magic Johnson say it'd be good for Michael to get some of his other players involved early in the game. He does go into Cartwright, and the Pistons are whistled for a Jimmy Edwards foul.
You know, George, that's true what Magic said, but you see what Isiah's done. He's driven the ball a couple of times, drawn a crowd, and kicked the ball to Rodman and to James Edwards for open shots.
Jimmy with a touch foul, really, against Cartwright there. Tough call. Paxson gives to Pippen in the corner against Rodman. Wide of the lane, Jordan. He'll elevate, double pump, and miss it. Cartwright pulling it off. He hits it.
You know, George, you'd like to get help in on Michael Jordan, but he's so doggone quick when he gets the basketball, you can't get the bodies back there to help out.
And Chicago's within one. Bill Laimbeer, top side, wide of it to Dumars. He'll step back and he got it. Pistons 10, Chicago 7. Michael Jordan against Dumars. Michael wants to pick and roll with Cartwright. He dumps it deep. Pippen with a miss. Grant with a stick back. And Bill Laimbeer has picked up his first.
Well, you see Grant going right back, George, fighting the offensive board again, and both Grant and Pippen with Cartwright have been very active on the offensive board. I do think this, George, that if Chicago continues to track and the Pistons continue to move the ball the way they have, it's going to sap some energy out of the Bulls defense and certainly affect their offense later on in the game. I like the way the Pistons are attacking the double teams.
Grant missed that first free throw. Nailed the next. Pistons by a deuce, 10-8. Chicago trapping. Rodman catches the lob, and it's a turnover. Try to get it cross court to Laimbeer. Paxson with an easy interception.
Well, that's the type of error that will feed the defense and make it stronger.
Paxson swings it to Pippen in the corner. Mid-post now to Grant. Outside Paxson standing on that three-point line. Missed it. Grant tapped in and out. Grant pulls it off. Way out to Paxson. Now Jordan. Boy, he looked quickly for Michael, didn't he?
He sure did, George, and these are the types of things that really put the bite on your defense. You have to play an additional 48 seconds, and now we have another foul on the Pistons.
Isiah helping on Cartwright will be whistled for that one. And in the opening moments, the Pistons already with 14 fouls, Chicago none. We have played 4.5. Pistons lead them 10-8, shooting 5 for 7. The Bulls 3 for 10. And Paxson trying to bounce it inside to Pippen as it kicked out by Isiah. New shot clock.
You know, George, the beginning of this game is greatly different than the beginning of games 1 and 2 played here in Detroit.
That is. Chicago going way outside. Michael misses. Isiah with a rebound for Dumars. Joe bumped by Paxson twice. Turns baseline, bumped again. They'll call it. Ed Rush.
You know, George, we had a great individual move. Here's the great individual move on Joe Dumars' part. He makes his move. He swings back to his right and has a little fake. He fakes up in the air, draws John Paxson up in the air. Paxson has no place to go but to come back down on Joe, and Joe has the presence of mind to release the shot.
Now he'll shoot a pair, and he makes the first. Pistons by 3, 11-8. Joe, after an off game in game 3, had 24 and 5 assists Monday. He was brilliant, of course, in the first 2 here at the Palace.
Well, when Isiah Thomas is on the defensive board, outletting the ball like a big man, you know you're in good shape.
That's correct. He got them both. It's 12-8. Pippen working outside for Chicago, looking for a Cartwright screen. Now he'll come into the lane, fly it up. No. In and out. Another offensive rebound for the Bulls. Grant to Jordan. Now Pippen. A pump fake on Rodman. A dish to Paxson. From the wing. Yes, he hits it.
Well, George, very few things come by giving up offensive boards. They've been hurt by fouls and then an open jump shot off a feed by Pippen.
Here come the Pistons with a 2-point lead. 6.5 left in the first. Isiah bouncing to Joe from the foul line. He extends it, he fires and fills it. 6 for Joe. It's 14-10 Pistons. Paxson lobbing to Cartwright. Cartwright wheels, gets inside Edwards, flies it up over Laimbeer and in.
George, if they continue to feed Cartwright, it's going to be a problem for the Pistons because he is so good offensively. He doesn't pass it, but he sure can take it to the hole like we saw.
2-point game again, 14-12. Dumars against Jordan. Trying to get it inside to Jimmy Edwards. And we get a whistle. Timeout called by the Pistons. 5:57 left in the first. Cartwright will get the foul. It is 14-12. The Pistons by 2. Timeout on the world champion Pistons Playoff Basketball Network. Madonna with special guest Technotronic brings her Blonde Ambition tour to the Palace tomorrow and Friday at 8. Some seats left for tomorrow's concert at the Palace box office and all those Ticketmaster outlets. Pistons with a basketball and a 2-point lead. 5:50 left in the first. Chicago with 6 offensive rebounds, so the Pistons 1. Isiah from the wing lets it fly, misses over Paxson. There's an offensive rebound for Dennis Rodman. Took it away from Grant, who has 4 of Chicago's 6 on the offensive glass. Isiah looking to lob it to Edwards. Cartwright intercepts. So Pippen, now Paxson, and the Bulls can tie. 5.25 left in the first. Cartwright has it topside. Paxson from the wing, screen from Pippen. He sticks it, but Pippen moved on the screen. No basket. First on Pippen. Pistons with 2 turnovers. Chicago with their first just now. 14-12. The Pistons lead them. Isiah with a screen and roll with Edwards. Wide of the lane. Gets it, dumps it to James. Will come dotted line, hook over Cartwright and hit it. Boy, was he assertive there.
That's what James Edwards needs to do. He needs to catch the ball, aggressively take it to the hole. He beat the double team.
16-12. Pistons by 4. Chicago inside to Grant over Laimbeer with a foul line gun. It goes.
I say, George, he beat the double team in the sense that he moved so quickly that the help could not get there.
We're looking at 16-14 now. 4:38 here left in the first. Dumars against Jordan to Isiah foul line. Pass got through Edwards, wide of the lane. No question the Pistons are trying to get James and Bill Laimbeer on track.
Well, it's very important to us, as Magic said, George, to establish your low post game. It's going to make things easier for Isiah and Joe Dumars both, that James Edwards can be effective in the low post.
Paxson deep on the way. Looking inside for Grant. Contact with Laimbeer, a double team. Isiah helping. Pippen gets it from Paxson, gives it back. Now Jordan has it. Just did beat the shot clock, but got iron, no net from the baseline. Here come the Pistons. Isiah looking to blow by Paxson. Slips and falls. Dumars picks it up and sticks it from the baseline. Joe D with 8 already, and the Pistons lead him 18-14. Michael Jordan gets a deep screen from Cartwright, misses from the wing to Edwards. Michael 1 for 5 right now. 3.5 left in the first.
Well, he has had other people pick him up in this game, but he does need to be effective himself offensively, George.
Dumars flies it up inside. Too hard with a scoop off the high glass. Grant to Paxson. Now Pippen. 3 on 2. And they're going to get an offensive foul. The run over called on Scottie Pippen.
Well, it's a great move by Dennis Rodman. Grant was really flying on the right-hand side, and you see that Rodman had his position established in front of the basket. And you have to like what Dennis Rodman does.
John Sally off the bench. The rest Bill Laimbeer. And Pippen will sit down with those 2 fouls. Stacey King replaces him. King off just 6 minutes in game 4, shooting just 28% from the floor in the series, and of course Scottie Pippen has been sensational. Isiah looking for Dumars. Joe's hot, working against Jordan baseline. Paxson low post. Turns mid post. Dotted line for the turn and gun. No, but a whistle.
George, I like the strategy of having Joe Dumars attack Jordan, so now Jordan has to worry more about the scoring. He also has to worry about Joe Dumars.
Michael Jordan picks up the foul.
Well, you see the inside play here. Was pretty good position by Jordan, but he did foul on the way up.
Joe nearly had a chance for a three-point trip. Makes the first. It's now 19-14.
But what this does, George, this ties up Michael Jordan. He has to then be concerned defensively about not only Joe Dumars, but while Joe is hot, he can't run it over and help it. Laimbeer on a Laimbeer or an Edwards.
He split the pair. Cartwright. It's 19-14. Grant working against Rodman. Bounces high post to Cartwright. He'll wheel dotted line, hook it. It's going to be wide to Rodman. Dennis playing on a bum ankle, got up there. He's made some sensational plays. John Sally catches wide of the lane, deep to Edwards, off the high glass with a turn and gun. It goes! 21-14, the Pistons by 7. Hooters 4 out of 4, and the Bulls want timeout. 2:32 left in the first. A 7-2 run on the world champion Pistons playoff basketball network.
Pistons basketball is brought to you in part by Michigan State Lottery. Michigan Lottery supports education. By Coca-Cola Classic, proud to be the official soft drink of the world champion Detroit Pistons. By Northwest Airlines, serving over 220 cities in 20 countries on 3 continents. And by True Value. For quality, selection, and personal attention, make True Value Hardware your store of first choice.
Jimmy Edwards with a big basket for the Pistons right before Chicago called timeout. Got a glasser from the baseline, and guess who decided it was time for a timeout? Michael Jordan. Jordan missed it baseline after the timeout. Here come the Pistons. Isiah looked like he was tripped. Finally gave it up on the sideline. It's Dumars. Joe in the lane, 2-timed and fouled.
Well, George, you have to like the energy level of the Pistons offensively. They're really moving with the ball and without the ball.
Paxson has picked up his second. Bulls are really being forced to work hard defensively. Craig Hodges will replace John Paxson. Team fouls 4-4, 2:08 left in the first, 21-14 Pistons. New shot clock for Rodman, who'll trigger from the sideline. Top side to Sally. The handoff to Dennis Rodman, working to weave outside. Now Isiah gets it. And a screen from Edwards on Hodges. Hodges is through it. Clock at 10, Isiah behind a foul line. For the gun, it goes. Sweet shot there, Isaiah's first hoop.
George, it was a well-executed play. The defensive guard got hung on the pick, and Isiah was wide open.
Isiah averaged 28 in the 2 games in the Windy City. 23-14, Pistons by 9. They'll go to Jordan. In a crowd, has to dish it back to Hodges, trying for 3. It's through. That hurt.
You know, George, it's a great athlete that can take the ball in traffic and then kick it behind him for a pass to an open man. It's amazing what he can do.
Suspended in midair against a triple team. Isiah to Dumars. He'll stick it from the wing. He has 11. And the Pistons lead by 8. 1:07 left in the first. Chicago to Cartwright. Bumping on Edwards. Turning and gunning is Cartwright. He got it to go. Cartwright from wide of the lane. Sticks it, and he has 7. 25-19 Pistons. Pistons go to Edwards against Cartwright. Here's the baseline fadeaway. Off the heel to Grant, and a whistle, and a Dennis Rodman foul. That's his second.
Well, George, so far it's been a great start for the Pistons. They've executed well. James Edwards looks like he may be hurt a little bit. But I like the way they've run off the defensive end. They've controlled the defensive board for the most part. And now they're moving the ball well and hitting open people.
Jimmy Edwards cutting the eye Mike Anthonauer working on him, while Joe Falls of the News looks on from behind. We've seen a few people knocked around in playoff games over the years. Speaking of knocking around, Eddie Neely replaces Cartwright. Now the Pistons team physician, Ben Palucci's taking a look at James. Grant's at the line, made 1 for 2. Pistons make some changes. Vinny for Isiah, Aguirre for Rodman, Bill Laimbeer for James Edwards. VJ behind the back against Hodges. Dumps it in the corner to Aguirre, trying for 3, no. Sally, though, taps it outside. John's going to get a loose ball foul. Jack Madden calls it on John.
Well, you have to like the way John Sally goes to the offensive board, George, but one of the problems in going is that sometimes you're going to have contact, which translates into a loose ball foul. Still, as a coach, you'd like to see your big men fire at the offensive board.
Stacey King at the stripe with 36 seconds left in the first. He hits the first. Jimmy Edwards now trying to stop the bleeding, holding some gauze over his eye.
You know, George, it looked like he was also holding his hip as he came off the floor.
Both free throws for King go. It's 25-22. 30 seconds to play in the first. Vinny fights his way to forecourt. He is doubled outside. Gives to Aguirre. The handoff now to Joe D. Dumars from the corner lets it fly. Grant got a piece of it. Laimbeer saves it for Dumars, who flips it to Sally. A touch to Vinny. And they're going to rule it's over the glass. An illegal shot.
He's going. That's right, George. Eddie Rush or Jack Madden actually ruled that the ball was shot over the backboard.
Jordan lets it go from mid-court the other way. He thought time was out, I think. 10 seconds left. He just hit the long gun triple. We're tied at 25.
He thought there was 9/10 of a second left, but I'm sure Phil Jackson will take that shot.
Vinny Johnson, meantime, inside. Got it blocked at the horn after 1. What action? George put a punctuation mark on it with a mid-court triple. We are tied at 25. This is the World Champion Pistons Playoff Basketball Network. Get your 3D glasses at participating 7-Eleven stores for tomorrow night's Rolling Stone Steel Wheels Tour at 8 on WKBD TV 50, simulcast on WRIF. Chicago has scored 8 straight points. Michael Jordan with the last 3. Actually, he launched a triple from behind the timeline.
I would say, George, you wouldn't have to worry about Michael Jordan's range on his jump shot.
Man, he thought they were in the closing second instead of the closing 10 seconds.
That's right.
I am sure. Pistons now tied at 25. Laimbeer topside, squares up, guns, he got it.
Well, Bill had excellent rotation on that shot, just like he did the first shot.
Pistons by a deuce now, 27-25. Pippen back in the game, working now against Dumars. Pippen and Hodges. Hodges takes it left wing, short with a shot over Vinny. Bill Laimbeer with a rebound. They have Grant and King and Neely on the floor with Pippen and Hodges. Michael Jordan resting. He won't rest for long. He's averaging better than 43 minutes a game. Pistons to Aguirre, wheeling on Grant. Great scoop off the glass, and he scored. Pistons by 4. We'll pick our defensive player of the game tonight for our good friends like Thomas Pride at Health Alliance Plan. Health Alliance Plan, your health deserves the best. Grant in the lane, turning, missing over Aguirre. Mark has it. Now to Joe. Joe D against Hodges. King comes to trap. He's on the sideline, outside of Bill Laimbeer. Wide of the lane to Sally. Squaring up and gunning is John. Off the iron to Neely. The handoff to Pippen. Through 1, the Pistons were shooting 58% to Chicago's 41%. Pistons 29, Chicago 25. Pistons go down, and Stacey King Gets the offensive foul.
Well, you see John Sally moves over here, George. He's in a pretty good position. I don't think Stacey King is comfortable driving the ball. He turned down the guard and elected to drive and drove in right into John Sally.
Joe Dumars resting now. Isiah replaces him. Bill Laimbeer fumbles a pass topside, goes to the floor for it, hangs on, bounces nicely to Aguirre. Mark, a little show and go on Grant. Can't blow by him. Clock inside 10, it's inside 5. Laimbeer catches outside and drills it. I told Tom Ryan the other day on the radio, don't worry about Bill Laimbeer. He'll be all right.
I'll tell you one thing, the way he shoots the basketball.
Here is Isiah stepping in front of Hodges at midcourt. And Hodges, after the steal, knocked the ball out of bounds. Jordan just 2 for 7 so far, won that midcourt triple. Bulls finished the first with an 8-0 run. Dumars with 11, Cartwright with 7, the top scorers. Pistons lead by 6. Isiah getting dotted line, drawing contact on the shot and the foul.
You know, George, what I like Isaiah's penetration. He's penetrating. He's finding open people. If the seam is there, he's able to take it himself. That's what a good guard should be able to do. And Isiah does that very well.
B.J. Armstrong checks in for Chicago. Grant sits down. Pippen moves back inside. Sally to Isiah. Pistons by 6. Isiah against B.J. Gets it to V.J. Baseline to Aguirre. He guns. It goes! Pistons have now scored 8 straight to start the second after the Bulls finished the first with 8 in a row. Phil Jackson wants a 20-second timeout. It's a 20-second Chicago Bulls timeout here at the Palace. Before the 99th straight sellout crowd. The Palace will host the Nestle's Crunch Michigan, Ohio 4th annual high school all-star game. Saturday, June 23rd, starting at 6. Tickets on sale at the Palace box office and all those Ticketmaster outlets. There are groups of 25 or more.
George, if the Pistons shot 58% in the first quarter, I'd like to know what they're shooting now, making 8 straight points there.
Mark Aguirre has helped out off the bench. He can score in the low post. He did a moment ago on Grant.
Well, Marcus, a tremendous low post player against smaller people and against bigger people, as we saw there, George.
Pippen will work against Aguirre. Up fake him outside. Drew contact and the foul. Mark will pick up his first. In 2 and 42, the Pistons scored 8 and Chicago nothing. And they have untied the game, but good. Pippen stops the 8-0 run, though, as he makes the first and gets his first point.
Well, the Bulls had some offensive rebounds early, George, in the first 4 or 5 minutes, but since that time, they have had very few, and the Pistons have controlled the defensive end of the floor.
Scottie Pippen made them both. It's 33-27. Pistons lead them. We've played 3 now in the second. 9 minutes till halftime. And a very special edition of Dunham's Fast Break featuring Jack McCloskey's all-draft first 5. Bill Laimbeer misses outside. The Bulls start the break, get it to Pippen. Oh, no. They're going to get a foul and a breakaway.
George, I'll tell you one thing.
Pippen gets it down.
If any young players are watching, to be able to watch what Armstrong did. He caught the ball, saw the releasing Scottie Pippen, made the great pass. You see it right here. The ball was thrown just barely outside of Laimbeer's arms. A great play on the part of Chicago's part here.
So Pippen gets a free throw, and then the Bulls get the ball. B.J. did make a heck of a pass after the rebound. Pippen makes it's 33-30.
Well, that was a big-time pass. There's no doubt about that. And that's what makes the big people run, when guards will kick the ball off.
Chicago has scored 5 in a row. They're looking to make it 7. Pippen from the baseline, double clutches, misses to Sally. To Isiah. Bulls run back on defense. Isiah trapped outside by Pippen and Armstrong. Steps out of bounds, reeling away from B.J. right in front of Jack Madden.
Well, Isiah is going to be double-teamed because the Bulls realize his value. And, of course, when he's double teamed, it's 4-on-3 somewhere else.
8.5 left in the half. Pistons 33, Chicago 30. Armstrong from the corner. Thought about it, didn't take it to King outside Neely. Sideline now to Hodges. And we get a whistle and a foul inside on Mark Aguirre.
Fouls on Mark Aguirre. It is second the team's third.
You know, George, the Bulls only have one starter on the floor here. They're making a little bit of a move with this group. It'll be interesting to see how long Phil Jackson stays with this group.
Eddie Neely got the ball outside and got the offensive foul. That group made a mistake there. It's 33-30. Get a real break when you can come back with this squad. And they have. Vinnie Johnson hooks to Laimbeer from the corner. It's down. Billy drills it. He has 8, and the Pistons lead by 5. Pippen in a hurry on the other end, though, and gets it down over Mark Aguirre.
Well, the Bulls want a faster pace.
They got it there, didn't they? Aguirre, low post against Neely. Turns in, back toward the baseline, gets the glasser. Boy, that was slick.
2 great Mark Aguirre moves, one on Grant, one on Neely on both sides of the floor.
37-32, the Pistons by 5. Armstrong gets the screen on Isiah, bounces deep to King on the pick and roll over Bill Laimbeer. Missed it to Sally. Good work on the defensive boards by Spider there. Crowd makes some noise as Vinny works against Hodges. He'll penetrate, jump it from the lane. Missed it to B.J. Armstrong. B.J. the other way. From the wing over Isiah, no. Rebound Aguirre. Pistons had that one surrounded. Vinny actually jumped over the basketball.
Well, I like the way, George, the Pistons are moving the ball and hitting the open man, and Laimbeer has been the recipient of those open shot opportunities.
Aguirre against Neely, low post, gets the lob from Isiah. That clock's inside 10. Vinny to Laimbeer, it's at 4. They'll square up and gun. This one doesn't go. Neely with a rebound. A lob ahead to Armstrong. Dish it to Pippen. Pippen working Sally. Has it mid-post. Gets to the dotted line. Sally's on the floor, no call. Back to B.J. over Isiah. In and out from the baseline. Bill Laimbeer pulls it off for Vinny. B.J. really has it swiped from behind. Finally, he does by Pippen. To B.J. Now Hodges trying for 3. Off it rolls to Aguirre.
Well, we talked about a fast pace, George, and an open floor. We're seeing it right now.
Vinnie Johnson got it. Pump fake. Great bounce to Bill Laimbeer, and he drew the foul. Pistons will take time out here after the Hodges foul. 6:05 to play in the half. They lead the Bulls 37-32. In Game 5 of the tied-up Eastern Conference Finals on the World Champion Pistons Playoff Basketball Network. We're set with our 1990 version of the Pistons fantasy tape, a 5-minute cassette recreating an NBA championship game, substituting anybody you choose to be the MVP. Order yours for maybe a graduation or Father's Day gift by calling 517-371-2142. Order with a major credit card or pick up an order blank at any of those great stuff stores. A portion of the proceeds for the Metropolitan Detroit Youth Foundation and the Pistons Palace Foundation. We have fun doing those every year. Dennis Rodman trying to keep that left ankle warm. He, as a matter of fact, stayed overnight at the Palace on Monday night. Spent much of the day today here having treatment.
You know, George, those kind of guys, you cannot keep them off the floor. And that's the type of leadership that you'd like to have on your ball club. I'm sure he's hurting. I'm sure he's not 100% by any means, but he hasn't played a great deal, but he has been effective, and that is leadership.
Yes, he has. Goes Bill Laimbeer. He split the pair there, but Billy has 9, and the Pistons lead by 6. Paxson and Jordan and Cartwright with Pippen and Grant now. The Chicago starters out there against Isiah, Vinny, Laimbeer, Sally, and Mark Aguirre. Paxson has it top side. On the wing to Jordan against Vinny. Shot clock 3. Now 2. Now one. He'll have to force it from downtown, and he missed it. DJ bounces to Aguirre on the baseline.
Well, you know, it was just a bad timing on the
through
pass, but I like the defense that the Pistons had on the other end, forcing Jordan to shoot the ball from 30 feet with no time on the clock.
And Chicago, meantime, gets it to Pippen, who hits the glasser. 38-34. Isiah against Paxson. Wants to screen and roll with Laimbeer. Gets it to Billy from the corner. It's down. Another deuce for Bill Laimbeer. He has 11. It's 40-34 Pistons. 5 minutes flat left in the half. Michael Jordan bumped on the sideline by Vinny. Puts it on the deck. Isiah traps. He'll go baseline, and they'll call a foul. It's on VJ.
You know, George, you have to like what Laimbeer has done, but you also have to like the way Isiah Thomas and Bill Laimbeer run that two-man game. They really do an effective job at it. And you see Jordan here driving the ball to the basket. The bump is called on Vinny.
Well, it looked like he had position. Michael right into him. Paxson wanted to go inside, and Vinny leaps in front and slaps it out. The clock's at 15. Bulls shooting 50% from their backcourt. The Pistons 31%. Four and 43 left in the half. Pippen outside to Grant. The hand back to Pippen. Jordan catches foul line. Now Paxson from long range. No. Sally pulls it off. 4.5 to play in the half. Mark Aguirre inside on Grant. Pippen traps. Back to Isiah. Sideline against Paxson. Back inside to Mark. Over a double team. And he missed it. And we're going to get an offensive foul on Mark. And that's his third personal.
Well, he drew a crowd that time, George, as we'll see here. Or you see two people around him. Now you see Cartwright come in. He's right in the middle of a crowd. That's a reflection, too, of Mark's offensive ability. They respect him enough to double team him in the low post every time he touches it.
Little over 4 left in the half. Paxson to Pippen outside. Rodman has replaced Mark Aguirre. Paxson gets it back on the wing. Shot clock inside 10. Pippen from outside trying for 3 off the heel. Sally taps to Bill Laimbeer. Spider very active tonight. Isiah wants to pick and roll with Bill Laimbeer. Now he'll step back, miss the triple to Jordan. Michael through the crowd. Blind dish to Grant deep for the dunk. How did he see him? That's the Magic Johnson pass. It's 40-36.
George, Michael Jordan does a lot of things on the floor, but he's a great passer in addition to being a tremendous offensive player, and I think a very underrated defender.
Here's Isiah wheeling and finger rolling and filling it up. It's 42-36. Pistons by 6.
Well, you see, George, that the Bulls are not double teaming outside as much, and Isiah is a major factor for that.
On the perimeter, it's Pippen. High post to Cartwright. Clock at 10. Cross-courting to Jordan. He slips and falls. Keeps the dribble. Wraps around the feet to Grant inside for the glasser. That's good. What a play.
Looked like a second baseman on a short to second double play that time.
Man. 42-38. The Pistons by 4. The hardwood. Vinny Johnson draws the trap. Dishes to Laimbeer. Baseline with a gun. It goes. Bill Laimbeer has 13 points after getting 4 all weekend long in Chicago.
Well, Bill Laimbeer and James Edwards have both started this game very well for the Pistons.
Paxson way outside for the Bulls. Isiah doubles down on Jordan. Paxson free on the wing. Missed it to Vinny. 44-38 Pistons, and they have it. Vinny Johnson dishes way out to Isiah against Paxson. Shot clock at 12 behind the three-point line. Starts the dribble to the baseline for the fadeaway. Short. He's on the deck. And we get a whistle as they scramble for the miss. Minute and 56 to play in the half. Cartwright with a loose ball foul. Timeout at the Palace. The Pistons 44 and Chicago 38 on the World Champion Pistons Playoff Basketball Network. After the game, and right after the game, I mean, it's the TV 50 10 o'clock news special edition. Ray Lane with basketball highlights. Roger McCoy and Amir Jacobson with the local and national news. Andrew Amador with the weather on the TV 50 10 o'clock news. Michael Jordan with 4 assists. 2 of them have been absolutely flat out spectacular.
George, what makes Michael Jordan great is not just his offensive skill as far as shooting the ball, but these 2 great passes that we see here, which indicates that he sees the open floor, he's down, but he spots the open man, has the ability to make a good pass as the guy's making a break to the basket. And George, in addition to that, he also blocks shots. He comes from the weak side. He does everything on the floor for you.
156 left in the half. Pistons 44, Chicago 38. B.J. Armstrong returns. Pistons go to Vinny. Baseline gunning is V.J. He got it. 46-38. The Pistons now lead by 8. Stop here would be sweet. Armstrong back behind the timeline. Just gets it over to Cartwright in time. Now gets it back. Their clock's at 12. B.J. on the sideline with some room. Outside to Cartwright. Now to Grant. Now on the wing to Pippen. Clock at 5. Pippen to Cartwright. It's at 3. It's at 2. He'll go foul line. Fire and miss to Rodman. Pistons have the ball with an 8-point lead. 1 minute and 15 left in the half. Chuck Daly calls the play. Isiah gets a Laimbeer screen wide of the lane. Draws the double team. Dishes to Lamb in a corner. He's trapped. To Rodman wide of it on the deck. Trying to wheel inside. Lost it to Cartwright. Here's Michael Jordan on the break for the Bulls. Nice bounce ahead to B.J. Armstrong, who lays it up and in. 46-40.
Well, that break was triggered, George, by a very aggressive Bull defense inside and a quick release by Jordan to Armstrong.
Vinny Johnson across the timeline against Michael. Draws a double team. Bounces it to Sally. Shot clock is now 10. Vinny topside against Michael Jordan. Laimbeer screening. And Bill Laimbeer moved on the screen, says Eddie Rush.
Well, Eddie Rush is going to claim here, George, that Bill Laimbeer moved on the pick and stuck his hip out.
He will come out with his 3rd foul. James Edwards will return. Jimmy cut over the eye before he sat down. He's stopped the bleeding. Pistons want to stop the turnovers. They've had turnovers in their last 2 trips. They had the ball in an 8-point lead a heartbeat ago. Jordan inside, knocked away by Vinny, but a foul with 26 seconds left in the half.
Well, there was no doubt about that. Vinny was on his back. I think Vinny realizes that. A little bit late in covering the post, and Hodges did a good job, or Jordan did a good job of posting up inside and holding his spot.
Jordan 2 for 8 from the floor, and the Bulls shooting 38%, the Pistons 60%, but Chicago is dangerously close despite all of that. Michael makes the first. It's a 5-point game. 46-41. Joe Dumars checks in. Dennis Rodman will sit down. Pistons going offense for defense here.
I think what Coach Daly is saying here, that he feels that the Bulls are going to trap, and he's going to put 3 smaller people on the floor to handle the pressure situation.
Michael Jordan with 42 on Monday after 47 Saturday, and he missed the second one here. Sally took it off the iron. Barely beat a goaltending call.
Well, there's the trap, George, that we talked about. You have smaller people on the floor. They're going to be able to handle it.
Edwards outside to Isiah. Shot clock now 8. Edwards lost it behind a foul line. Pippen to Grant. 5 seconds left. Grant in the corner to B.J. Armstrong. To Pippen deep on the wing. A second to play in the half. Trying for 3. No. And it's the Pistons by 5 at the intermission. And a wild and wacky first half at the Palace. Phil Jackson and the Bulls walk out trailing by 5. Bill Laimbeer back on track for Chuck Daly. He has 13. Pistons 46, Chicago 41 in Game 5 of the tied-up Eastern Conference Finals on the World Champion Pistons Playoff Basketball Network. Pistons lead 46-41 here at the half at the Palace in Game 5 of the Eastern Finals. This game very well could decide the team that gets back to represent the East in the NBA Finals. John McLeod, Michael Jordan has just 6 first-half points, yet Chicago, I think, is perilously close.
George, they're very close, and the Pistons have shot 60%, and there's still a 5-point differential, so it's a situation that we should see an excellent second half.
Oh, man, it's going to be wild here in the second half. A special edition of Dunham's Fast Break coming up in a moment, featuring Portland Phoenix highlights from last night and a chat with Jack McCloskey on the world champion Pistons playoff basketball network. The Pistons lead the Bulls here at the half in Game 5 of the tied-up Eastern Conference Finals, 46-41. And welcome to a special edition of Dunham's Fast Break, one of these great luxury suites at the Palace. The 99th consecutive sellout crowd here watching a most important basketball game. They played a Game 5 out west last night, and the Portland Trail Blazers held on to their home court advantage with a come-from-behind 120-114 win over the Phoenix Suns. The Suns feature some strong inside play. Kurt Rambis dishing to Mark West for 2 of his 18. Buck Williams on the other end. Answer with a slam on the way to 15. And how about Kevin Johnson? A steal and a scoop and a score himself. He had 28 in a losing cause. Cliff Robinson, a promising young player for the Blazers, got loose in a crowd. Good defense by the Blazers. Helped keep the home court advantage. Kersey, one of the great athletes on the Portland club, getting a big basket. And Portland leads 3-2 in the Western Finals. They stopped the Suns 120-114. George Blaha and Jack McCloskey here at the half at the Palace. Piston general manager has seen his team in the playoffs for 7 straight seasons, trying to become just the second team in over 20 years to repeat as NBA champs. Jack, the draft coming right up, and before we talk about who you may have a chance for, because your teams always have good records, you draft late, let's talk about some of the top picks in the draft. I know you have some favorites.
Well, obviously, I think Coleman from Syracuse is going to be an outstanding forward. Lionel Simmons from LaSalle. If I were going to pick a team, those 2 guys would be the forwards out of the draft. Then you got, after that, you got Felton Spencer, Kendall Gill, and Travis Mays. Mays, I think, might be the best all-around basketball player in the draft.
We'll take a look at him in a moment. Lionel Simmons is a smart player. We know all about that. He can score, can't he?
He really can. He's somewhat limited in range, but he can really take it to the basket, and he attacks the basket. And this is Spencer right now from Louisville. He's big, he's strong. He's got a way to go, though. I think he'll be a backup early in his career, and then later he'll probably come along and be a very good journeyman center.
Kendall Gill from Illinois, a lot of people around here are familiar with.
Fine all-around basketball player. Defensively, runs the break very well, does the things that you like from a coaching standpoint in the game. Very much under control, and doesn't try to force things.
Not your point guard spot, not Ramil Robinson or Gary Payton, but Travis Mays.
This guy's the tops. This guy can really play the game. I'd give anything to get him, George, but there's no way we'll be able to come up with him. He would be a great addition to our basketball team.
Write that name down, Travis Mays. And Jack, when it comes time for the Pistons to pick, are you going to be looking, as most people think, for a big guard?
I think so. There's an abundance of big guards in the league in the draft this year, more so than has ever been in the past, George. So I think there will be a decent player there for us at 26.
We mentioned that you've been in the playoffs 7 straight years. You've been in the Eastern Finals 4 straight years. That means that the draft picks haven't been high draft picks, and your team is a great squad, obviously, but it's getting a little older. You're going to have to make some off-season changes?
Well, it all depends on whether we decide whether we can make a run for the championship with his team or not. It isn't a question of how old or how young you are. It's how good you are, George. That's the big thing.
How good have they been so far tonight?
I think we've been awful. I really do. Playing awful. If we can't play any better than that, we don't deserve to, play for the championship.
I would imagine that with only a 5-point halftime lead, you'll see the Pistons come out with their seatbelts buckled up in the second half, and the Bulls had better buckle theirs too.
And we've got to play with a little more intelligence. We had a 9-point lead, we had an 8-point lead, and 2 guys come in cold, and one guy puts up a shot from the corner, another guy goes on a drive, loses the ball. Just can't play that way.
Jack McCloskey, he's a tough taskmaster, but the results are proof positive that he's doing it the right way. That's our special edition of Dunham's Fast Break. Thanks, Jack, for your time.
Okay.
We'll have some first half numbers in a moment on the World Champion Pistons Playoff Basketball Network.
Pistons basketball is brought to you in part by Precision Tune. Run with precision, run with the best. By Highland Superstores. Nobody gives you more, and nobody sells for less. And by Valvoline. People who know use Valvoline.
George Blaha back here at the Palace with a couple of coaches with me as the Pistons lead at 46-41 at the half. Most important basketball game. And John McLeod, we've got a tough-minded players football coach here between us and Wayne Fonts. This guy doesn't just come to the big games. He's a fan. What do you think tonight?
Well, I think the Pistons are great. I think that Coach Daly's done a great job getting his team ready to play. And, they lost a couple ball games in Chicago, and everybody said, my God, what's happened to the Pistons? But the Pistons are a great basketball team. They're well coached. They're disciplined, and they're out here to play and win this ball game today.
Takes a while to build some depth like the Pistons have, and you're on the way to doing that with the Lions. I could see that team turning around, but people do have to be a little bit patient too, don't they?
Without a doubt. Great players make great plays, like the Pistons have great players make great plays. Average players make average plays. The best thing I can say right now, I'm starting to dress like Chuck Daly, and maybe that'll help me a little bit.
Doing a nice job. Got to watch this John McLeod too. He's tough. The second half coming right up on the World Champion Pistons Playoff Basketball Network. Just underway with a personal foul on Bill Cartwright, his third. The Pistons have first possession here in the second half and a 5-point lead, 46-41. They did have 10 first half turnovers. The lead would have been bigger. Here's Jimmy Edwards from the baseline. The turn and gun goes for Jimmy Edwards. Pistons shot 60% in the first half. They lead now 48-41. Jack McCloskey, our halftime guest, a little anxious about the outcome tonight, as everybody is. This one more than likely will mean the series. Michael Jordan leaning and gunning. He got it top of the key.
George, you know, when you get into Game 5 of a 7-game series, a conference final like this, it's going to be close. It's going to be hotly contested.
Here's a great block by Pippen outside on Isiah. Never saw him. Pippen just pulled it off. Bulls within 5 and with it. Horace Grant to the dotted line. Left hands up the half hook. No rebound. Bill Laimbeer. Lamb with 6 rebounds now. James Edwards leans in, dishes across the court to Laimbeer. Gun goes. Billy with 2 more.
Well, as I say, George, you can double-team a player, but you can't double-team a pass, and James Edwards made a great quick pass to an open Bill Laimbeer.
Cartwright inside, bumping on Edwards for position. Baseline gun, he got it.
Boy, both Edwards and Cartwright are razor sharp tonight offensively in the post.
Well, they're crushing each other in there,
well,
too.
one is 5 for 7, the other is 4 for 6. So you see 5 for 6 and 4 for 6. Tremendous shooting percentages.
Dumars against Jordan. On the sideline. Steps deep, fires and fills it just inside the 3-point line. 13 for Joe. Bill Laimbeer leads the Pistons with 15. James Edwards has 10. John Paxson has the ball for Chicago. Pippen in the corner, behind a 3-point line, misses a triple. Long rebound to Isiah, 3-on-2 against Jordan and Paxson. For Dumars on the baseline, the rainbow goes! It's 54-45, the Bulls want time. 9:23 left in the third. Timeout on the world champion Pistons playoff basketball network. Pick up those 3D glasses at 7-Eleven stores to see Mick Jagger and the Rolling Stones and their Steel Wheels tour tomorrow at 8 on WKBD TV 50 simulcast on the Rift WRIF. Isiah on the fast break set up Dumars. What did he set up right for that baseline pop?
Well, George, he did. The ball hits nothing but the bottom of the net, never touched the rim, to give you an idea how pure Joe's shot is.
We're looking now at 54-45. Bulls ball, Jordan against Dumars. Return dotted line. He's hit and fouled. Isiah over to help has picked up his second. In the scoring column, Bill Laimbeer and Joe Dumars now with 15. Edwards with 10. Mark Aguirre next with 6. Grant with 10. Pippen and Cartwright with 9. And Michael Jordan with 8 for Chicago.
George, I think what we'll see here as the game goes on is that Jordan is going to have the ball more. The Pistons are really double and triple teaming, and he's going to be in a position where he keeps kicking to open people. Now we'll see whether the Bulls will be able to make these shots or not. But I like the way the Pistons are playing defensively.
Michael does make 2 at the line. 7 points. That's the length of the lead. 54-47. Isiah against Paxson comes to work. Paxson fought him in backcourt. Will set up topside. Clock at 12. Off to Dumars from the wing. Little show and go on Jordan. A dish back topside to Isiah. Clock at 7. Joe gets it back left wing. It's at 5. Shot short. Chased down by Jordan to Grant. Paxson looking for a Cartwright screen. Now dumps it to Bill mid-post. Lock inside 10, double team baseline, off to Grant, the cutter. He's fouled on the way to the hole. Bill Laimbeer got him.
Chicago's fourth. Chicago, George, is more active in cutting to the basket when the ball is in the low post than in previous games. And, you know, when there's a double team on the post and you cut to the basket, somebody is going to be open.
Bill Laimbeer will have to sit down with his 4th foul.
Well, George, that's going to hurt the Pistons because Laimbeer has really been a force offensively tonight and played very well on both ends of the floor, not just on the offensive end.
John Sally replaces him. John has been a very active player, however, tonight. Speaking of active, I want to say hi to one of my heroes, 94-year-old. He doesn't look it or act it, Tom Lucas, and all his buddies at Tom's Tavern. What a fan he is.
Congratulations to Tom. 94 and strong. I think that's great, George.
Man. Grant looked good at the line there, making 2 5-point game. 54-49. 8:15 left in the third. Joe Dumars between the rings, working against Pippen. To the baseline, runs it up, over the hole, air ball. Saved by Joe to Sally outside. Isiah trying for 3, in and out. Pippen pulls it off. Pippen gets inside Edwards. John Sally got a piece of the shot. Scramble for it. Grant's got it. Stick back, no. Pippen's got it. Out of bounds off Scottie Pippen.
Well, George, you're seeing a ferocious battle on the offensive board by Grant and Pippen of Chicago. They're really pounding the glass.
Here comes Isiah to work, looking for a high screen from Edwards. They want to go back to James against Cartwright. Or set the pick and roll. Here's the screen. Isiah deep on the wing, trying for 3. This one's through. The last one a near miss. This time he got it all.
Well, he had good rotation, a good lift on the ball. There was no doubt about that shot, George. It was right on target.
Isaiah's triple makes it 57-49. Jordan cutting to the goal. Left hands up the force, and he hit it, and he's fouled.
Well, what we saw here was known in basketball parlance, George, as a guard blinder. Jordan went down the blind side of the defensive guard. Cartwright made a great feed.
John Sally fouled him, but didn't stop him.
John Sally had to come from the weak side. It was a a very well executed play that's very tough to stop from a defensive standpoint.
Michael Jordan heating up. He has 13. Chicago pressing. We're at the Palace, game 5 of the Eastern Finals, tied 2-2. Dumars with a long lob. That's going to be a turnover. Piston mistake against the trap.
George, you talked at halftime about the fact that the Pistons had shot 60% and the score was only a 5-point difference, and we're seeing what we anticipated, a very close game here in the second half.
5 points, the length of the lead. Grant inside, jump hooking and missing to Rodman. Just under 7 left in the third. Here come the Pistons. Isiah against Paxson. Spinning to the corner. The fadeaway over the hole. No. Pippen rips it away from Rodman. Pippen's on the sideline. Pippen over Sally from there. No. Rebound to Isiah. Did he get up?
But George, you know, the Bulls have made some great defensive plays, but they aren't capitalizing offensively on this end, so that's good for the Pistons.
Chuck Daly's team up 57-52. Dumars against Paxson. The shot clock's at 7. Wide of the lane and a grab and a foul on Paxson. His third. The Bulls have 2 team fouls now. The Pistons 3, 6 and 16 left in the third. Rodman to Isiah against Paxson on the wing. Off to Dumars, cutting across the lane, hooking and hitting. Joe loves it left to right. He hit that one, nothing but net. 59-52 Pistons. Halfway through the third. Cartwright at the high post. Off it goes to Jordan. Jordan outside against Joe D. Starts the drive, pulls up at the foul line, extension shot in and out. Grant with the offensive rebound, missed the stick back. He's got another rebound. He'll take it to the corner outside Jordan, way outside now Paxson. Paxson, mid post to Cartwright, looking to wheel. Bumps off Edwards, misses. Rebound, out of bounds, off Pippen, and the Pistons are going to be called for the foul.
I'll tell you one thing, George, Horace Grant has really put on to display the entire game of pounding the offensive board.
Dumars gets up off the deck with his first foul.
Well, Joe Dumars is really versatile offensively. You see this driving right-handed hook with Bill Cartwright chasing him in a feather touch.
Now the Bulls get a fresh shot clock. Pistons have 14 fouls. Paxson inside to Jordan. Baseline turn and gun over Joe. Rolls off. Tap Pippen, no. Another tap. Pippen won't go. Isiah has it in the corner. Up to Joe D. Dumars down the lane to the goal. Scoops, misses, but he did draw the foul. The noise level shoots up at the Palace on Grant's first foul.
You know, George, Michael Jordan has had some very good shots that have hit both sides of the rim and popped out, but in addition to that, he has had to cover a very active Joe Dumars.
Joe at the line, missed the first, wide. Phil Jackson has John Bach and Tex Winter. And Jimmy Clemens with him on the Chicago bench. A lot of basketball brains there. Dumars split the pair. He did score on the second. Pistons by 8. Joe has 18. 5 left in the third. Paxson against Isiah. Top of the key, Horace Grant. In the lane, Cartwright back to Paxson. Pump fake, lost Dumars, gives it to Jordan. Isiah cuts him off deep on the wing. Pippen, triple, yes. Well, they shut him off everywhere, and finally, Pippen hit the long triple.
Well, Joe is really digging defensively, and every time Jordan moves, George, there's help, and all he can do now is kick it to open people, and now it's up to the other Bulls to be able to make these open opportunities.
Pippen just 4 out of 14. Isiah in the lane, Paxson's down, and the Bulls, who have pulled to within 5, get a call. Isiah gets the offensive foul, his third. It's 60-55. Isiah moved the ball on his shoulder into Paxson. As the Bulls come on the attack, we're going to get another Isiah foul. before Chuck Daly can get him out of the game. That's his 4th. And now Vinnie Johnson will replace Isiah. 4:20 left in the third. It's 60-55 Pistons.
George, I've really been impressed with what the Pistons have done defensively to Michael Jordan. Not only Joe Dumars, but his teammates have been in tremendous support.
Chicago still very, very close. Now it's a 4-point game as Pippen makes the first. Chuck Daly and Brendan Surr and Brendan Malone know how important this game is.
I think there was question, George, as to whether the Bulls front line could do the things on the offensive board here that they did in Chicago, and so far we've seen that they can.
He got them both. Pistons pressured in backcourt. Sally with the dribble. Gives to VJ. Back to John. Down the lane. Nice dish to Rodman. Lays it up and in. Chicago in a hurry to Jordan. Dumars has to run back with him and does. Michael wide of the lane. Cross courts to Paxson. Baseline Grant. Outside Cartwright on the wing. Pippen tried another triple. This one rockets off to Edwards. Pistons get to forecourt, leading 62-57. Dumars working Paxson to the baseline. Double clutches. We're going to get a whistle and a foul. Paxson has picked up his 4th. Tonight's game is brought to you in part by Pure Amoco Ultimate, the engine cleaning gasoline drivers rate the very best. Your car knows. Joe Dumars at the line, and Joe knows free throws. His dog's even named free throw.
You know, George, a while ago he missed a free throw. When you shoot 90% like Joe Dumars does, you expect to make every one. You want to make every one. You visualize that, and when you miss, you get very upset.
Paxson, who fouled him, is replaced by Neely. Joe makes them both. Pistons by 7. 3:38 left in the third. Jordan bothered in backcourt by Dumars. Shot clock 15, has it topside. Vinny over to Trap. Inside it goes to Grant, and he hits it, and he is fouled. John Sally.
Grant has had many offensive opportunities, George. He could have 20 points now if he'd made some of these easier shots. And we see another offensive burst here. He's banged by Dennis Rodman, or by John Sally, and cracked again by Rodman.
They call it on John, his 3rd.
Well, you know, George, when you go to the offensive board, if you're playing against a running team, they want to release. They want to get the defensive board and release. But if you're on the glass, it kills your break.
Grant made it a 3-point trip. 64-60. Dumars against Jordan against the backcourt trap. Steal. Rodman re-steals from Pippen. Bounces to Sally. Down the lane. John shovels to Vinny. Inside. It's up. It's down. 66-60. The microwave puts the Pistons up 6. 3 left in the third. Michael Jordan topside to that basketball. Neely all alone gets it baseline. Guns. No, and it's over the glass and out of bounds. Timeout. 2:50 to play in the third. Pistons 66 and Chicago 60 on the world champion Pistons playoff basketball network. 3 great stars coming to the Palace after Michael Jordan leaves. Phil Collins, August 16th and 17th. The great Janice Jackson on August 7th and 8th. And for 3 great shows, June 22nd, 24th, and 25th, David Bowie. Tickets on sale at the Palace box office at all Ticketmaster and Great Stuff locations. Dennis Rodman. Inbounds to Sally. Now Warren catches, driving down the lane, scoops lefty, it rolls off. Who's got it? Eddie Neely. 2.5 now. Left in the third. Pistons by 6, but the Bulls have the ball. Guess who? Michael Jordan outside. Dumars fights a Cartwright screen. Cartwright gets a baseline. He's doubled. Clock at 5. He's in the corner. Clock at 4, and we get a whistle. And a timeout called by the Bulls. It'll be a 20-second timeout.
George, that came about because the Pistons are doing such a great job of double teaming Jordan. They are not going to let him shoot the ball.
It has been wild in here tonight. Dennis Rodman on a break a moment ago got it to Sally and then VJ inside, who had to hang glide before he hit it, but he did.
Well, you know, George, when you're being pressured, if you can have your big people, Dennis Rodman, who has size, and John Sally, who has size, to be able to handle the ball, it really helps your zone attack.
Bulls ball. They called the timeout with Cartwright trapped in the corner, and the shot clock ready to go inside 5. Neely looks. Outside Cartwright. Back to Neely from the corner. He guns. No. Rebound Cartwright. What a foul. And he will be called for it. His 4th. The loose ball foul on Cartwright. The Bulls are in the penalty. 2 and 14 left in the 3rd. Jimmy Edwards was shoved. He'll shoot a pair. Pistons have only had 10 tries at the line. They've made 7. The Bulls are 17 for 21. Jimmy Edwards missed the first. His free throw woes continue. Meantime, foul trouble. Paxson and Cartwright with 4 for the Bulls. Isiah and Phil Laimbeer with 4. Sally and Aguirre with 3 for the Pistons. .6 boards on Monday for James Edwards. He missed 2 free throws there. Will Perdue on for Cartwright. Rebound. Hodges on the floor with Jordan, Neely, Perdue, and Pippen. Jordan in the corner. Dumars with a reach-in steal, but a foul, says Eddie Rush. That's just 2 on Joe. That means a pair, though, for Michael.
That's right, George. You know, Jordan wants the basketball. He wants control of the ball because he didn't do very much offensively in his mind in the first half. But the way the Pistons are playing defense, I think he's going to get very few open shot opportunities, and now it's up to the rest of the Bulls to be able to take advantage of his passing. But I like what the Pistons are doing here, George, from a defensive standpoint.
Michael Jordan makes and has just 14. Now it's 15. But the Bulls are very much in it, 66-62. Way too close for comfort. Less than 2 now left in the 3rd. Benny Johnson against the trap, bounces to Sally. John dribbles out of it, finds Rodman baseline. Sally gets it back, high post. Pippen tried to surprise steal on the deck to Dumars. Baseline to VJ, lets the gun go, it goes! Benny Johnson with a big-time basket there at 68-62. Michael Jordan elevating for the Bulls and getting it down behind the foul line. Boy, he answered in a hurry. The Pistons worked like the devil for their shot.
Well, they did, George. Benny Johnson came up with a great play. We were questioning whether Chicago would continue to trap. They have.
Pistons against the trap, get it to Rodman baseline. He elevates in a crowd, bad ankle or not, and draws the foul.
But somewhere along the line, George, if the Pistons continue to attack like they did that time and get open shot opportunities, Chicago will have to pull this trap off.
Neely committed his 2nd foul on Dennis Rodman.
Well, you like the fact that they are in an attack frame of mind against the defense instead of being tentative.
Very courageous Dennis Rodman playing tonight. That's a bad ankle. He makes and has 5 to go with 5 boards. He had 20 points and 20 rebounds Memorial Day afternoon.
George, he had a great day Monday, I'll tell you. Boy, that's a tremendous
afternoon. He made them both there. 70-64. A minute now and 10 left in the 3rd. The Pistons lead the Bulls by 6. The Eastern Finals are tied 2-2. Jordan outside against the trap, gives to Perdue. Airballs it to Rodman. He didn't expect the pass and was more than tentative on the shot. Benny Johnson against Hodges, brushing off hand checks. Takes it wide of the lane, jumps it up, short. Got his own rebound, though. Tapped away. Jordan has it. Off to Hodges, 3 on the way. In and out, Sally taps. Dumars brings it down. Chuck Daly up to call the play with 30 seconds left in the third. Pistons by 6. A basket here would be very big. Vinnie Johnson way outside, chased by Neely and Hodges. The shot clock's at 5. He'll shovel baseline to Rodman. It's a 3. Outside Dumars, it's a 2. That's a triple try go off the iron. Sally pulls it off. They'll try to power it up. He drew the foul. Will Perdue fouled him, and Purdue's trying to go after him. A near fight. That'd be a poor exchange if the Pistons lost John Sally and the Bulls only lost Will Perdue.
Well, George, I like the fact that John Sally did not want to get in there and start fighting. He's a veteran. He realizes the importance of being on the floor. Will Perdue is overreacting here. There was a little contact, but there's been contact in every game, on every play, on every drive to the basket.
John Sally pulled it off, took it back up.
Well, I think perhaps the action here would be the fact that John Sally may have kicked his right leg and hit Perdue. I didn't see any contact here. Well, there's a
Perdue turned and saw John starting to argue with Pippen, and he came after him from behind.
We have a personal foul on Will Perdue. We have a double technical on Will Perdue. Spider Sally.
I don't know where John Sally gets a technical foul out of that. That's the announcement. You may have heard it. Personal on Perdue and double technicals on Perdue and Sally. There is one problem with the way they sort things out in the NBA. It's like, let's make this no-brainer double technical decision.
Well, George, you see the reaction, or you hear the reaction of the crowd here, but I don't see what John Sally did unless we could go back and look at that film a little bit closer and see that perhaps he either did kick Pippen or he kicked Will Perdue. That's the only thing I can see from a physical standpoint. Yeah, he may have said something.
He's at the line, kept his cool, got the free throw down.
But you sure have to like the way he goes to the offensive board. He's on the line because of that.
Spider pulled off that rebound, his 5th. Here is the second. You can score it. 72-64. Pistons need 10 seconds of defense here to finish out the third with an 8-point lead. Hodges dumps it deep inside, and Neely goes up for the shot. He was fouled after the horn. No foul. After 3, it's the Pistons by 8, 72-64. They're rocking at the Palace in Game 5 of the tied-up Eastern Conference Finals on the world champion Pistons Playoff Basketball Network. Just announced today, Lions preseason football will be on WKBD TV 50, your place for sports. Houston, Buffalo, Kansas City, and the Cincinnati Bengals on that schedule in August. Right here on TV 50, and for season tickets, call 335-4151. Barry Sanders and Wayne Fonts and the Lions restoring the roar. You can also, of course, catch the Lions on News Radio 95 WWJ. The buzzer beat the foul on Neely to finish off the third. You think James Edwards knew that?
Well, his timing was right. There was no doubt about George had there been time on the clock that certainly would have been a foul. He really pulled Ed Neely down.
Bulls ball to start the fourth. The Pistons outscored them 26-23 in the third. They lead by 8. It's 72-64. Michael Jordan had 11 in the third. Joe Dumars checking him topside. Had 9. Michael misses. And here come the Pistons. Vinnie Johnson and Joe D. and Sally and Aguirre and Edwards. Dumars from the wing. Guns over Jordan. No. Rebound tap controlled by Horace Grant. He and Pippen and Perdue. And Jordan and Hodges on the floor. Michael coast to coast and scoops and scores.
Great balance and a great drive. The defense opened up. He took it right through the hole.
Michael Jordan now with 19. It's a 6-point game, even though Michael's only 6 for 15. Pistons with it, up a half a dozen. Shot clock now at 10. Vinny on the way. Wants to go inside to Edwards against Perdue. Michael doubles down, back out to DJ on the wing to Aguirre. Clock at 2, now 1. Shot clock's going to run out on him.
Chuck Daly is really upset. The Pistons did not realize that the clock was going down, and they get caught with a 24-second possession. Chicago has it, and now they're attacking.
That's 15 turnovers. Chicago has just 6. That's why they're so close. Michael Jordan can't get it down inside. Off in the corner to Perdue, way outside Hodges. Great range, as you know. Grant had it stripped. Sally to Aguirre. Vinny in a crowd, gives to Aguirre. Back top side, Joe D. 72-66, 10 and 20 left. Game 5, Eastern Finals. We're tied 2-2. Dumars trapped in the corner, outside to Vinny. Deep on the wing to Aguirre. 3-point try. It's through! A triple for Mark! It's 75-66. Chicago wants timeout with 10:06 to play. This is the World Champion Pistons Playoff Basketball Network. Pistons, and that Pistons insider ordering say 47% of the newsstand price. You can call 377-0100 during business hours. Mark Aguirre has given the Pistons their biggest lead since the first quarter with a deep triple, and now they lead by 9. Bulls with it. Grant, Hodges, Pippen, Perdue, and B.J. Armstrong on the floor. Perdue, low post, turn and gun, got it. Perdue against Aguirre. 75-68.
Well, they had a switch inside, George, and Aguirre wound up on Perdue. Perdue had the size on it.
B.J. Armstrong bumping Dumars on the sideline. That's 3 bumps. Now Joe will take it baseline. He's bumped again. This time it's called. B.J. Armstrong with the foul. 9.5 left. It's 75-68. Aguirre, Sally, Edwards, Joe D, and Vinny for the Pistons. Spider Sally triggers to Dumars. Off to VJ on the wing against Hodges. Clock at 16. He'll feed Aguirre. Spin move inside on Pippen. Scooping and scoring is Mark Aguirre. He has 11. Pistons by 9 again. Mark Aguirre 5 out of 6. 1 of the 5 a triple. Perdue dishes inside to Pippen. He'll run off the high glass. No. Rebound comes long to Vinny. VJ still with that dribble. Wants Edwards inside against Hodges. Gives it to him. Gets it back. Feeds Aguirre. Lays it up and in. And he is fouled. The Pistons are smoking now. Vinny Johnson made that thing happen. Grant with the foul. Man. Vinny wanted to get it to somebody inside. He did, and the Pistons have their biggest lead. 79-68. Mark Aguirre hits from the stripe. It's 80-68. A lot of time left, though. 8:45 as Pippen works against Aguirre. Paxson back on the floor for the Bulls. No Michael Jordan. Pippen at the foul line extension. Working against Edwards. That clock is at 5. Now 4 on the baseline. Leaning. Dumping to Perdue. Clock running out. He missed it. Off the iron to Sally. Now Dumars. Oh, you talk about noise. They're making some in here right now. This is a home court advantage. Vinny gets it off the screen, dumps it deep to Edwards. He'll lay it up and in, and he's fouled. Another Vinny Johnson assist. And a chance for another three-point Piston trip. The Bulls take timeout after Grant's third foul. 8:06 left. The Pistons 82, Chicago 68 on the world champion Pistons Playoff Basketball Network.
Pistons basketball is brought to you in part by Michigan State Lottery. Michigan Lottery supports education. By Coca-Cola Classic, proud to be the official soft drink of the world champion Detroit Pistons. By Northwest Airlines, serving over 220 cities in 20 countries on 3 continents. And by True Value. For quality, selection, and personal attention, make True Value Hardware your store of first choice.
The Pistons attack 2 more on their lead with another Vinny Johnson assist. He found James Edwards inside, and he drilled it and drew the foul. Vinny was 7 assists. Edwards makes it the line. He had missed 2 a few minutes back to continue his struggle at the stripe, but now it's 83-68, 8 to play. Jordan back in the game. Michael against Dumars, feeds Pippen inside. He lost it back near the timeline. He'll hand to Jordan there, clock at 7. Michael trying to shake and bake. He'll dish it to Paxson for the sideline pop. It does not drop. Out of bounds off Aguirre, says Ed Rush. Piston bench screaming it went off Pippen.
I'll tell you, there was great debate by the Pistons bench on that play. It looked like the ball did go off Pippen's hands, but the official awarded it to Chicago.
Paxson steps up foul line, misses. Rebound, Pippen. Pippen with a dotted line pop. Sally blocks the shot. Grant pulls it off, gives to Paxson. Top of the key, Jordan. Their shot clock's at 15. 7:20 to go in the game. Michael to the lane. Baseline to Cartwright. Sideline to Pippen trying for 3. Off the iron. Jordan follows. No, but he's fouled.
I'll tell you one thing, George. The Pistons are really doing the job defensively. They are not giving Chicago anything easy.
Nothing's been easy for Michael Jordan tonight. Joe Dumars has put tremendous pressure on him.
Well, that's right. Joe has not given him any room. He's fighting picks, and you see he's right on him here. Jordan makes a move to the right-hand side here. But Joe is right on top of it. And the thing tonight, George, is different than Monday is the fact that he has a lot of help. Every time he makes a move, he has a helper in there with him.
Meantime, Michael just missed a free throw. The crowd's delighted. He tries again. He got the second one down. Barely. 83-69. Pistons lead them. 7 minutes left. And the scoreboard clock on one end goes out. Bulls 2 out of 10 in the quarter. The Pistons 4 for 5. Vinny Johnson bounces to Aguirre. Deep on the wing for the rainbow. It goes! Mark Aguirre strikes again off of Vinny Johnson pass again.
Well, George, Mark has been a force here in the 4th quarter for the Pistons offensively.
The Bulls trying to force the pass inside, and the Pistons knock it out of bounds. Tonight's game brought to you in part by Michigan Bell Public Communications at the Palace. Michigan Bell Public Phones keep you in touch. Hi to the man of Michigan Bell Public Communications, Mark Doman. He and his family, great Piston fans. They got to be enjoying the 4th quarter here. We do have one scoreboard clock out, but the other reads 6:43 to play, with the Pistons leading 85-69. When the playoffs are over, New York Diamond Cutters, 20th floor, Prudential Town Center, presents a magnificent diamond ring to the Pistons' most brilliant playoff player. Shot clock 17 for Chicago. Neely back in the game. Gets it from Pippen, gives it to Jordan, top side. Dumars catches Michael there. He'll dish it in the corner. Cartwright for the gun, in and out. Pippen trying to stick it back. He's fouled. Mark Aguirre will get the foul. John Sally tried to take it. Mark tried to dance behind the basket support to avoid the official's eye, but he has 4.
You know, Mark has really, as I said, George, earlier, he's really been a factor offensively for the Pistons. And he's the type of player that can play inside, and he can also go outside at 25-foot range, and you must come up, you must play a covering, especially when he gets on a roll like he's on right now.
Pippen now 6 for 6 from the stripe, but he's 4 for 18 from the floor. Nailed them both. 85-71 Pistons. 6.5 left. Dumars trapped near the back line. Gives to Vinny. Vinny 2 times. Hooks it way up to Sally. Now Mark Aguirre catches down the lane. Grab, foul by Pippen. Pippen has 3. The Bulls have 4. Pistons with 2 team fouls. 6 and 20 left. It's 85-71 Pistons. Chuck Daly calling the play. Dumars working against Paxson. Vinnie Johnson pops out against Jordan. A bounce to Aguirre, cutting across the lane, dishing for Sally. Knocked away. Mark just gets it back. Things are going that well for him. Inside Sally, the fadeaway falls. Spider Sally sticks the turning gun. Well, George, it's 87-71.
They're on a roll now. They shot the ball well in the first half. They've come back in the fourth quarter and done the same thing.
Cartwright just lost it inside. Edwards taps it. Vinny has it. Vinny wants a high screen from Edwards. Gets it and a switch. Edwards is inside. Over to cover, Neely. Off to Dumars, wide of the lane. Fires it up, no. Off the iron, Aguirre taps it up, yes! Marquez 18, the Pistons lead 89-71. The Bulls only have 2 timeouts left. They're not going to burn one with 5 and 15 left. The Pistons continue their surge. Jordan tries to stop it, misses the high glasser. Jimmy Edwards to Vinny. Up to Dumars. Joe D behind the back to Aguirre. Here's the baseline gun. It ricochets away, this time to Pippen. He had to miss one sooner or later. Paxson deep on the wing, tries for 3, and it's through.
Well, that's one of the few outside shots, George, the Bulls have been able to make, and the Pistons have really tied up the Bulls' offense.
They have a good comeback weapon in Paxson, but they got to come back from 15 with 4 and 40 left.
Well, I think this game, in essence, is going to boil down to the Pistons' defense and the Bulls' inability to hit the open outside jump shot.
Vinnie Johnson from outside sticks it. BJ beating the shot clock. He has 8. He's been running the show. What a job by Vinnie Johnson and the Pistons here in the 4th. Timeout, 4 1/4 left. 91-74 Pistons. This is the world champion Pistons Playoff Basketball Network. The Burners America Fest celebration in association with our friends at Budweiser, including John Connie, presents Air Supply on the 3rd of July and Fleetwood Mac July 5th. Tickets are on sale now. And Jimmy Buffett's at the Palace Sunday, the 1st of July at 7:30. Tickets on sale at the Palace box office. All those Ticketmaster outlets, too, including the Great Stuff Store. The Pistons have outscored the Bulls by 12 in the second half. And the Pistons are leading on the boards by 10. Michael Jordan, 18 below his playoff average. Even if he does have 20, he's had him the hardwood. 6 for 16. Jordan topside against Dumars. Pistons by 17. Jordan driving, elevating. The glasser's good. With 4 to play, it's 91-76.
Well, he made the shot, George, but he really had to work to make the bucket.
Vinnie Johnson beats the trap with a give to Aguirre. Deep to Sally. They stop the slam with a foul. Stacey King has just come on. He gets the foul. He, Grant, Pippen, B.J. Armstrong, and Jordan on the floor for Chicago. Stats for Pistons home broadcast prepared by the Pistons official statistician, Maury Moravnik, and provided by Computerland of Southfield. featuring the Hewlett-Packard LaserJet 2 printer, compact size for desktop use. Sally sticks it. He has 5. It's 92-76 Pistons. John with 8 rebounds. Here is the second. He scores it. '73-76 Pistons. 3:40 left. Jordan popped it outside by Dumars. And we get a bump and we get a foul. Joe's third. Pistons only have 3 team fouls. That will not get Michael a pair. 3:41 left. Pippen from the sideline. To Grant. Off the bench, the Pistons have outscored him 24-9. B.J. Armstrong trying to get 2 off the bench for the Bulls. Wiggles dotted line and sticks it. 93-78. Sally to Vinny against the trap. B.J. beats it with a dribble on B.J. Armstrong. Still has it in the lane. Good dish. Laimbeer, baseline gun, no. Pippen pulls it off. 3:15 left. 93-78. Michael Jordan tries for 3. No, and it's over the glass and out of bounds. Among those looking on with great interest tonight, the commissioner himself, David Stern. Final 4 in the NBA, the Pistons, the Bulls, Portland, and Phoenix. Dumars fights his way against the trap across the line. Sally bouncing inside to Aguirre, leaves for Laimbeer, who's fouled. 3:04 left, no. He stepped out of bounds, that's the call. Bulls 4 for 13 from downtown. They've jacked up a few triples. The Pistons 2 out of 6. Jordan inside to King. Stacey King powers it up and down. Chicago's within 13. 2:50 left. Then he dribbles out of a trap. They're grabbing him on the shoulders. No call. Ahead to Sally. A dish to Bill Laimbeer. What a takedown foul there by Scottie Pippen. Man, is that a nasty foul. Bill Laimbeer helped up by his teammates. He's all right. He says something to Michael Jordan about it. Sally with a blind dish to Billy, and Pippen went up, grabbed him, and threw him down.
Well, George, you know, I believe that you should have contact when you drive the ball to the basket. But I think what's happened, we've gone too far here, and people, this is not the intent of being physical, but we're getting to the point. We're getting to a point where players are taking liberties here, and what's going to happen is people are really going to get hurt. You can have contact, you can blast a guy and be physical with him, but you don't have to pull him by the neck, and that's when people really get hurt, and careers could be finished.
They've called a technical foul on Pippen for the cheap shot and also a personal foul. I'll bet you Bill Laimbeer said, Michael, maybe the next time you come in here, we'll have one of those for you.
Well, that's what they do in baseball, George. But you know, a situation where you have players that are up in the air and they get pulled down by the neck or blasted when they're up in the air. It's a very dangerous situation.
Scottie Pippen, as much as threw a brick at Bill Laimbeer there, he's thrown a few bricks from the floor. He's 4 out of 18. Dumars missed the technical foul free throw.
That could be retaliation too, George, from what James Edwards did to Ed Neely at the end of the third quarter. And that's what happens when you start doing that stuff. The other team can't back down. But we've gone to a point, I believe, George, where we've passed a point of physicalness, and we've gotten into another area that I think is totally unnecessary and harmful to the players.
Bill Laimbeer at the line makes the free throw. After Joe missed the tech, he'll get a pair on Pippen's hard foul. It's 94-80 Pistons. Second one ricochets away to Stacey King. 2.5 to play. The Pistons by 14. B.J. Armstrong against Vinny. B.J. topside. Fires up a 21-foot gun that won't go. Sally had the rebound. Loose ball foul. Stacey King.
Well, you know, Chicago's taking the ball out of the hands of Jordan and put the ball in Armstrong's hands. And now the Piston guards are really doing the job defensively on Armstrong, preventing him from making the pass to Michael Jordan, who's been denied.
The Bulls have just that one timeout left. The Pistons with 4 and a 20 if Chuck Daly needs them.
George, the Piston defense in the last quarter has been outstanding. Absolutely outstanding, backed up by a great offense, spearheaded by the offensive play of Mark Aguirre.
Well, he and Vinny were cooking in the fourth. Sally at the line makes it. He's 5 out of 5.
Well, they've given the Bulls very few good shots, and when the Bulls have had shot opportunities, they have not been able to cash in.
Sally makes again. He has 8, and the Pistons lead by 16. 2 and 15 left. Michael Jordan trying for 3. The triple's going to be short. It's on the deck. Vinny dives for it. He and B.J. Armstrong will jump it up.
Well, I think this jump ball situation signifies the aggressiveness of the Pistons.
Now they're going to say Vinny was rolled out of bounds. And since he was the man with the basketball, the Bulls are going to get it. He did dive after it, though.
Well, you had 2 people going for the ball, and Vinny was in there with a great position. You have to admire the effort.
Jordan against Dumars. What an effort by Joe against Michael tonight. Jordan has to pass it up, dotted line. Pass deflected. BJ's got it. Dishes to Dumars. Pistons with 1 minute and 55 to hang on to a 16-point lead. Joe D way out between the rings against Michael. They'll run some time. Clock at 10. Denny Johnson wide of the lane. It's at 6. It's at 5. He'll hand to Laimbeer for the baseline gun. Doesn't go. Tapped out. Jordan with it. 1.5 minutes left. Pistons by 16. Deep on the wing. Pippen with a triple. Boy, he hasn't made many shots, but he has 2 triples. 96-83. Pistons with the basketball. 1.25 minutes left. If they hang on, they can close them out in Chicago on Friday. If they don't, they get another shot on Sunday. Couple of near fouls in backcourt against the trap. The Pistons get it to Aguirre, who does get a shooting call on Stacey King. Pistons 96, Chicago 83. Pistons trying to untie the Eastern Finals. Mark Aguirre, who has 19 points after making the first free throw, makes it 97-83. Craig Hodges has replaced Michael Jordan. He split the pair, Bulls ball. Armstrong foul line, Stacey King. Pippen on the sideline. Minute left. Pippen forces a triple. Short to Sally. Way up to Aguirre, handles outside. He is trapped, nearly has it swiped. Wiggles away, dishes to Vinny. 45 seconds left. It's 97-83 Pistons. DJ to the lane, missed the leaner. Kept it alive, but knocked the rebound out of bounds. Bulls ball. Oh, it's the Pistons basketball.
Go on sale tomorrow at 10 a.m.
Pistons with it. And 0.5 minute left. And a 14-point lead. Dumars will hold it outside against Hodges. Shot clock 4, now 3, now 2. Then he gives to Laimbeer from the corner, off the iron, no. They didn't beat the shot clock with 11 seconds to play. We're inside 10 seconds left. B.J. Armstrong behind the foul line for the gun. It's an air ball. Laimbeer with a rebound. There's the horn. It's over. And the Pistons come up big in the biggest game of the season so far. Downing Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls. Chuck Daly's crew now leads in the Eastern Finals 3-2. Our final score at the Palace. The Pistons 97 and the Chicago Bulls 83. This is the World Champion Pistons Playoff Basketball Network. Michael Jordan was just 7 for 19, folks. And the Pistons played that kind of defense in a 97-83 victory here at the Palace in Game 5 of the Eastern Finals. And they now lead it 3-2. Mark Aguirre off the bench for 19 key Piston points. Vinnie Johnson had 8 points and 8 assists, John McLeod. And I thought they came up big overall in a big game.
George, you know, the Pistons shot 60% in the first half. Laimbeer and Edwards got off the mark. They had been struggling. The third quarter, Chicago makes a little run, but in the fourth quarter, George, I thought the Pistons defensively did the best job that they have in quite some time. They shut Chicago down. Jordan had some shots, but they were all contested shots, and when he was forced to kick the ball off, and when he did, for the most part, the Bulls were not able to shoot the ball well outside. So the Pistons dominated throughout, but particularly in the fourth quarter when it really counted.
Let's check now our awards in tonight's big-time Piston win. Our unsung hero for Taco Bell, Vinnie Johnson. As I mentioned, he had 8 assists to go with 8 points. He's the unsung hero for Taco Bell, keying the Pistons' fourth quarter offense against that trap. Taco Bell, Detroit's choice for great food and great value. The defensive player of the game is the guy who put a 7 for 19 shooting night on Michael Jordan. Joe Dumars, the defensive player of the game for Health Alliance Plan. Health Alliance Plan. Your health deserves the best. And the player of the game for Dunham's Mark Aguirre was 8 for 10. He knocked down 19 and knocked the Bulls out really in the fourth quarter. He's the player of the game for Dunham's, the complete sports outfitter. And as the Pistons take this very big basketball game, it's time for us to say goodbye to our simulcast this year. And to bid adieu to John McLeod. I'd love to have him back next year, but I hope he's back on the sidelines coaching in the NBA. Really has been great working with him.
George, thank you very much. It's been a great opportunity for me. I've enjoyed the experience with you, and it's been great watching the Pistons play, believe me.
This guy with nearly 700 NBA wins, still one of the all-time great dressers. He forces you to do it up big time. Game 6 is coming up Friday night in Chicago. And the Pistons hope they'll play some more, too, on their way to a second straight NBA title.
basketball was brought to you by Dunham's, the complete sports outfitter with 10 Detroit locations, including our new Rochester Hills store. By Budweiser, the king of beers. Remember, know when to say when. By Plymouth and your local Plymouth dealers who invite you to test drive a Plymouth today. By Health Alliance Plan, your health deserves the best. By Ameritech Pages Plus, the complete Michigan Bell Yellow Pages. By the Kelly Springfield Tire Company. Kelly Tires, a good deal on a great tire. By Pizza Hut, the official pizza of the Detroit Pistons. By GE Automotive. If you're a car maker or supplier, put their minds to work. By Taco Bell, Detroit's choice for great food at great value. And by Amoco Ultimate. Your car knows.